it's Olivia from Girlybunches, and in this week's video I'm going to be showing you how to make these cute, adorable little crochet yo-yos, or macaroons people call them. They're called yo-yos because they are very similar to the, I don't know if you may have seen the fabric yo-yo, which is you just take a big circle of fabric and you stitch around the edge and then you pull it tight around the edge and then it pulls in and you get this double layered fabric yo-yo. And it's very similar to that. Yeah, nice versatile little pattern, really easy to do, 2 rounds, and I'm going to get on and show you how to make them. Okay, so I have got a 4mm hook here because I'm using some double knit yarn. This is just some double knit cotton, and normally I'd like to start off a round pattern using a magic loop, but these are very tight in the middle bit once it's finished, the 2 rounds, so it's quite difficult to get in there and sew the ends in. So start off with 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, and then into that first chain you're just going to do a slip stitch, and that joins that up to make that into a nice loop for us to work into. So yeah, like I said, I would normally prefer the magic loop, and if you do, then you know, just please bear in mind that it is quite difficult to sew in these ends, so you're better off starting with the 5 chains. So now we're going to do 5 more chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then into this loop we're now going to do 17 triple trebles. So I'm British and I use British terminology, and you may know a treble as a double crochet, so that would be just 1 loop over the hook and then you'd start working your stitch. But this is a triple, so we're going to wrap the yarn over 3 times. Now that's what I call it because I'm British, and you may know it as something else, and that's great, but it is the same stitch. And yeah, I know this as a triple treble because I've wrapped the yarn around 3 times. Okay, so we've got that out of the way, and there'll be a big debate about that in the comments, I'm sure. So now we're going to do 17 of those. So into that loop that we've made. So if you've never done one of these before, so like I say, you wrap the yarn around 3 times, and then you're going to go, just wait for this to focus, there we go. You're going to go into the loop, put the yarn over, pull it through, put the yarn over and put it through the first 2 loops, put the yarn over, put it through the next 2 loops, yarn over through the next 2 loops, and the yarn over and the next 2 loops. So we need 17 of those all together, and that would make 18 because this 5 chain replaces our triple treble. Working your way around, and if you find it's getting a bit tight in the whole part, just sort of smoosh them around a bit. So I'm going to come back when I have got all of my stitches into that loop, and I'll show you how to do the next round. Okay, so I've got now 17 altogether, including my 5 chains at the start, and I just need 1 more triple treble, and as you can see it does get quite squished in the middle there, so that's why I just moved them around. They are willing. And then just 1 more triple treble going into my loop there. And once I've got that, I can then just do a slip stitch into that 5th chain. So there's my first row of chains. So I'm going to do a slip stitch into that 5th one, and that then joins up my round. So you can see it's all curly whirly, it wants to fold over, and that's perfect, that's what we want it to do. And now what we need to do, we need to do the second round, and we need to decrease the stitches by half. So we've got 18 and we need to make 9 stitches in the end. So don't panic, it all sounds very confusing, but it's not. So we've got, this is our first round and this is my second round. And I can pull this apart a bit. There you go, you can see that this is actually made out of trebles that are joined, so it's 2 trebles together. So if I can just, if I just point out here, so you've got 1 treble there and there's another treble there, but it all meets up to 1 point here. So if you ever see a pattern that says the number 2 and then the stitch name, so there's a treble TR and then TOG, that means 2 trebles together. So I've covered this before, but I'm going to show you again in this video. So when you do stitch, you can do more than 2, you can do 3, 4, sometimes 7 you're basically going to start off the stitch. So when you do a treble, you would do 3 chains to replace that, but because we're not finishing the stitch, we're going to start doing the next treble before we finish them both. Bear with me, I know this sounds quite confusing. We're just going to do 2 chains here, okay? Hopefully it'll become apparent once I do the next stitch. So now we're going to start working the treble into the next stitch. So that's yarn over once, and then into the top of the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through, and then just going to put it through the first 2 loops there. Okay, so now it looks like we have 2 stitches which we haven't finished, and then the last pull through of the yarn will finish off those 2 stitches. So I'm just going to grab the yarn and pull it through. So if I just take my hook out, you'll see that we've got 1 stitch and 2 stitches, but we've only got 1 loop at the top. So over here we've got 2 stitches. Let's just take these 2, 1, 2, but we've got 2 loops. But the difference here is that we've made 2 stitches into 1. So let me just show you why I did 2 chains. If you do 3 chains, then you've got your 3 chains, and then do your treble into the next one. You could mistake that as 2 trebles. Can you see how it looks like you've got 2 loops at the top there? So if you just do the 2 chains when you're doing trebles together, the first stitch of the round, then you get a better finish. That's what I found. If you do something different, if it works but differently for you, but I find just doing that gives me a clear 1 stitch at the top round. That's just starting the round off like that. So the next ones are going to be easier because you put the yarn over the hook to do your treble. You grab your yarn and you put it through the first 2 loops, and then you would grab the yarn and put it through these 2 loops. But this time we're going to put the yarn over the hook, put the yarn through the stitch, grab the yarn, put it through the first 2 loops, and here we have 1, 2, and there's 3 loops. Don't ignore this. Now we've got these 2 loops that now need to be finished off with 1 stitch. So now we've got 1, 2 into 1, 1, 2 into 1. I hope that makes sense. So you're going to carry on doing this. So again, you start off the stitch and then you don't finish it. You start off the next stitch but don't finish it, and then you finish off these 2 stitches, which means pulling it through those 3 loops. So we've got 1, 2, 3 stitches at the top, but we've actually covered 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of those loops. And as you can see, I just take the hook off. It's now starting to form that shape. If you just flatten it down, you can see it wants to make this this shape. So I'm going to go all the way around, and I'll come back when I get back to the round to the end. Right, I've gone all the way around. I've just got 2 more stitches left here, 1, 2, which I just need to finish off. And yeah, finish that off. And now I'm just going to do a slip stitch into the top of that first 2 trebles together, and that is it. So I'm just going to do that slip stitch, and now I can cut my yarn. I can find my scissors. Okay, so now I'll just pull my tail end through that loop. Sorry, my camera keeps going out of focus. Pull it nice and tight, and there you go. You just need to then rearrange it, show it who's boss. Doesn't need much rearranging. And there you go. There is your yo-yo macaroon crocheted up really quickly. They go up, they work so quickly that it's unbelievable. You could make loads of these, and then after like a couple of evenings you're probably going to have quite a few just to start sewing together. So on that note, let's just have a little look at sewing 2 together. So I've sewn in the middle end already, so I just left these on because I thought they might be quite useful for sewing together. So I'm just going to put this through so it comes out the end. And I'm just going to grab my other yo-yo and just line it up with, probably be sensible to line it, yeah, that's right. I'll just line it up with one of the one of those triple trebles. Just going to sew it through like that, and you could sew it through a couple of times and then tie that off, and that's it, they're sewn together. So that's it. Okay, and there you go. I think they're absolutely fabulous. I love them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to see what you make with them. If you do make anything with them, why not drop a picture on my Facebook page? I'd love that. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you've got any comments or queries, do put them in the comments box down below. I'll put lots of links that you'll need up here, down below, all over the place. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care. See you. Bye.